Okay, hello, my name is V. Paul with HSEC Classroom Services, and we're standing outside of the team-based learning classroom in the HSEC building. This is a 200-seat auditorium-style classroom that is also capable of doing small group work. It is distance learning capable. There's a built-in classroom recorder, so we could live stream or record content from here in an automated fashion or manually if that's what's preferred. You'll notice that there is a large student seating area right out front, and this is Harvard is what we're looking at right now outside. Up above is the 4th floor mezzanine area, and we're going to enter the room now, and we're going to talk about the different features that this room has. Okay, so welcome to the TBL classroom in the HSEC project. This is on the 3rd floor. You'll notice it's a semi-circle type shaped room. It's the closest to most of our large auditoriums in the Moose Towers, if you're familiar with those rooms. We've got 2 entrances on either side of the room, and both entrances have steps up as well as an ADA compliant ramp that takes you to each tier. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers of seating plus the instructor station. And if you look around, it's fairly spacious. There are several Wi-Fi nodes in this room, so dedicated just for this room, so that everyone has access to EduRoom. Okay, so here we are on the 3rd tier of TBL, and this gives you a different vantage point to see the room. Again, as I mentioned before, it's that semicircle shape, similar to some of our auditoriums in the Moose Towers building. And what you'll notice here is one of the reasons why this is called team-based learning. The front tier, the front row of seating on each tier, students can face forward when they're listening to a lecture. They have microphone push-to-talks. They have power to plug into their devices. And when the instructor says, everyone turn to your group mates, they simply swivel in their seats, and now they are about 8 people to a table for group work. And they still have microphones, they still have power if they need it for their devices. Additionally, the back of each tier is a whiteboard so that groups can do some of their own, their own handiwork, as it were, on the whiteboards behind. And that's for every table around in this room. Additionally, regarding the microphones, in this room, if a student were to push to talk, one of the cameras in the room would find them so that in a distance learning situation, folks on the remote side would see who's talking. So here we are at the top of the team-based learning classroom in HSEC. So this is the top of that U. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers, and as I've said before, each tier has a front row and the back row, and the front row can turn to face their colleagues on the back row to form groups or to form teams when they need to do small group work. You've got whiteboards on the back of each tier, including that top tier has whiteboards. You can see it against the wall. One of the things I did want to point out at this vantage point is there are 4 cameras in this classroom, ideal for classroom recording. This is a Mediaspace capable room. Automated recording is possible, as well as manual control from the instructor station if you want to take manual control. But also, this is a Zoom capable room. This is a Zoom room. So you could do distance learning activities from this room, bring in a remote speaker, or connect to many other folks on their computers. So it is ideal for grand rounds type situations or large lectures that need to bring in several classrooms from other campuses, whether they're using traditional codecs or they're using other Zoom capable venues. And then the last thing I wanted to point out above me, we've got 3 projectors that display content to the walls up above. We've got an ABA format, meaning you could have 2 sources displayed in an ABA format if that's what you need, or they could all just have all the same content, AAA. And what that means is there really isn't a bad seat for folks to see. From the center, obviously you have a good choice, but when you're at the wings, you have cross view, nothing is too far, detail is still legible on those screens. It's one of the things we made sure to take care of in the computations for where the projectors would be situated and how powerful the projectors would be. Okay, so here we are. I'm now showing you what it looks like from the front row of the team-based learning classroom in HSEC, and you'll notice that we've got 2 flat screen displays in conjunction with projection displays. And the flat screens are intended for the front rows so they wouldn't have to crane their necks so high in order to see content. So the displays show an A, B content format, or it could simply be both A, just show the same content on either side, and the viewing angles for someone seated, rather than having to turn right, they just look across, and there's this space here for the instructor to walk around, to wander if they want to engage with the students and still be close to the podium. They have all of this walking space open to them. Okay, and here we are at the top of the other side, the opposite side of TBL where we walked in. You can see there's the other entrance for this room and the ramp that comes on up. Behind you, that's a seating area for the Dunn Brothers that's in HSEC, plus some digital signage to showcase what's going on in the room. And really, this is just another opportunity to see the whole room from the other side. Again, if you're seated from this back tier, you've got those two screens to see content, whether it's A and B or just A and A. You wouldn't need to worry about this screen here. Again, if you were to push a microphone to speak, push to talk, the camera would find you so that you would be featured in a distance learning type situation. You've got power at these desks, and when it's time to, you would swivel and you would join your colleagues at one of these tables when it's time to go into small group work. There are the whiteboards for the back of the tier to get access to. Okay, so here we are at the front of TBL, the team-based learning classroom in the HSEC project, and I'm standing by the instructor podium. And what I want you to know right away is there is a built-in computer here. So this screen will show the built-in computer. An instructor doesn't have to bring in a device at all to teach. This screen here is the confidence monitor, so anything that is projected up above will show down here. So an instructor just has to face forward, interact with notes, interact with videos, and see everything that he or she needs in order to give a lecture in this space. Now, if an instructor brings in a laptop or a tablet and wants to plug in via a cable, we do have an HDMI cable here. They're going to have to bring in an adapter if they don't have an HDMI port on their device. But really the showcase, the featured device of this room is the Mersive Solstice wireless display device. It allows users to send content from their laptop, from their tablet, from their phone, wirelessly to the system. And so by choosing wireless presentation here, there are no cables that are needed. It's device agnostic, whether it's a Mac or a PC or an Android device. Simply, on first use, download the Mersive Solstice app to your tablet or download the Mersive Solstice client to your laptop, whether it's a PC or a Mac. And then when you choose wireless display here, you would simply, on your device, choose the room name so that you're displaying to the correct room. And your slides, your video with audio, your pictures will all show on the screen. You could share the entire desktop or just a portion of the desktop. You could share just an application. It's very similar to a Zoom meeting share screen experience. And the other neat thing is students from their seats can also share wirelessly to the Mersive Solstice display system. That means an instructor can give a lecture, send everyone off to do group work, and then at the end of that have each group report back and show their content to the screen. They could all connect at one time, and then the instructor just shows one at a time. It's a moderated experience. Or they can connect on their own, one after another, and they could just sort of be good citizens about it and make sure that they don't overrun anyone. But you can have up to 32 devices connected to the Mersive Solstice system in this room. The more devices connected and that are shown simultaneously, the smaller they get. So you could do 2 at a time and have side by side. You could have 4 at a time and make it a quad. Otherwise, it could very well be a moderated experience where the instructor is choosing who gets to go. There is also this document camera that's plugged into the built-in computer. So if there are papers to show or small items that need image magnification on the screen, you could certainly use a document camera for that. The instructor can also control the cameras, and if there was a demonstration up front or a medical device to show, the cameras could be aimed at whatever activities here and show in greater detail on the screen what's happening. So image magnification is certainly possible that way. With the 4 cameras also, this is a Zoom room. It's Zoom capable. You could join someone else's Zoom, or you could host your own Zoom from here and interact collaboratively or show content from here. It's also a Mediaspace room. That means that there you could request automated recordings from our office, and we would program the recorder to start and stop at a specific time when you're giving a lecture, and there would be a camera view, as well as anything that's being shown on the projector will be captured in Mediaspace. And if you wanted to have a recording but you didn't request one of us, or it's too close in time, we're not able to program one, you can manually start a recording from the touch panel. You put in your email address and hit go, give your lecture, and when you hit stop, the recorder will upload your recording to your email address, to your mediaspace.umn.edu account based on your email address. All the audio from the front can be picked up via this podium mic, or there are wireless units, a wireless clip-on mic and a wireless handheld mic that can be used, so that there's always voice lift, and voices that way would be captured for the recordings or the Zoom streams. So this is a fairly flexible room for teaching, for group work, for grand rounds events, for seminars that need to be broadcast out via live stream or via Zoom. We can do that from this room. I hope you found this tour useful. My name is Vipal with Health Sciences Classroom Services. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your planning for your use of this room. Thank you.